All right, here we are. Not really where I wanted to be, but that's all right. I hope you all enjoyed your spring break and that you're ready to jump back into this. So unfortunately, things are going to be quite a bit different because we are online for the rest of the semester. Before we get into the details, today I just wanted to go over the basic changes to the course. But most importantly, your health, your wellness is the top priority. So please reach out to me if you need anything, if you're struggling with anything. Remember, this is not a time to stop being human or to stop creating relationships. Both still very important things to do. In fact, I'm obviously super sad to not be able to meet with you anymore. So one thing that I'd like to invite all of you to do, especially as an interpersonal communication class, is to pick one person in your social network every day just to call them and see how they're doing, make sure they're doing all right, make sure they have all the food that they need, make sure that they're getting the social support that they need. One thing that we know from studying interpersonal communication is that social networks are super important to reducing anxiety, to reducing stress and depression. So if we all just pick one person every day that we're going to call and check on them, see how they're doing, that's one way we can spread the benefits that we would have had from meeting as a class every day. Other than that, I just hope you're doing well, hope you're spending time with your family, and that you're enjoying this time. It actually is a pretty cool time to be alive, despite all the challenges we face right now. All right, so I wanted to touch base with you, let you know a couple of the main changes for the rest of the semester. So you can still contact me whenever you want to using my Gmail, but you can also still set up AdVap appointments. What we'll do when you set those up is I'll send you a friend request to your UConn Gmail account. And once you accept that, then you and I can do a face-to-face Skype using your Google account. Then if you can't work into AdVap, obviously still shoot me an email and we'll figure out a time that we can meet together. Big changes as far as learning. Rather than meeting 3 times a week, we're going to create weekly modules that you can complete whenever you want throughout the week. And I'll try to have these posted by the end of day Monday each week, and then you can jump on and get them done anytime before Friday. So here are 3 things that are going to be included in each of these. One, I'm going to have a short video introducing the week. These are videos that are probably going to be 10 minutes long, and I want you to watch the entire thing, because this is where I'm going to be making announcements, and I'm going to be telling you what to look for throughout the week. Okay? The other important thing is there's going to be access to all of my PowerPoint slides and my notes from what I would have talked about if I had lectured. When possible, I will also include maybe an audio of me explaining a concept, maybe a video recording here and there. But big change here is that a lot of the learning is now on you. So you need to be looking at these concepts on the PowerPoints and then going back to your textbooks to see how you can understand these concepts in greater detail. And then each week will be a quiz link. So every week we're doing a quiz now, except for the weeks of exams. These are open book and open note quizzes. They will probably be more multiple choice questions than before, just because I know you like to get the instant feedback on what you got right and what you did well. But they will be timed. So I want you to wait till after you've studied everything before you go and do these. So depending on the length of the quiz, the time will be shorter. So you might only have 30 minutes or an hour, depending on how long it is. Again, these aren't going to be super hard quizzes. They're just there to help you know what you should be studying along the way. So each week, you're going to have one module that I want you to work on. Okay, as far as assignments, Looking Glass Self is done. Dyad Project, now everything is digital. So you can meet with your partner twice a month still, but I want you to do it using a face-to-face digital venue. So this can be Facebook, it can be Google Hangouts, it can be Skype, whatever you want, but you have to be able to see each other face-to-face. And I want you to still spend the 45 minutes to an hour together. So you're going to have to get creative on what you do. You don't want to just sit there and stare at each other the whole time. Maybe you can watch a movie together over an online platform. Or maybe you play games together. I do a lot of that with my siblings who live in Idaho. So there are ways you can get creative. You don't have to just sit there and stare at each other. But you still should be meeting twice a month. Journals are going to be the same. So I want you to still do those. There's going to be due at the beginning of each month or the end of each month, depending on how you look at that. And then at the end, we're still going to do our poster presentations. But these are going to work slightly differently. So you still need to create a poster you're going to still explain the theory and use your examples from your relationship to explain the theory, but you are going to record yourself giving a 3 to 5 minute presentation. I would suggest using a program like the one I'm using right now. I've got a link here for you. It's free. You download it. It's super easy to use, but it allows you to have an image of you with your poster. So you put your poster up where this Word document is currently, and then you'd be up in the corner explaining the different concepts. And again, these are short, 3 to 5 minutes, very simple, but you'll post these onto our Husky CT site. Then you will go and watch some of your peers' recordings, and you'll give comments to your peers. So that way we'll sort of create a digital poster session. So you'll get to watch each other and still have other people watch yours. Okay? Discussion activities are also going to be slightly different. So discussion 1 is done. We don't have to worry about that. Discussion 2, which should have taken place last Friday, but we didn't do because I knew that most of you were heading home early. So we're going to do that next week instead. And it's going to be a little bit different. So for this one, you need to find a real-world example of some concept that we have already explained in class. And I don't care what concept you pick. It could be relational development, it could be politeness theory, whatever it is. But it does have to be a real-world example. So something that has happened probably in the news within the past month. Okay, and it has to be a real relationship. So not some reality show or an animation. This should be a real example of something that has happened in the news that you can draw and use as an example for something we're learning in class. Then I'll create a discussion board. You will post your example to the discussion board, explaining the connection to the concept, and then you'll go and comment on a few of your peers' comments. And that's how we're going to run discussion board 2. Discussion board 3, which will come later after we've talked about conflict, you will pick a video, one of the few that I have listed here. Preferably, I'd love for all of you to go out and finish watching Wonder, because it actually has some great examples of conflict and how conflict influences their relational development. But I understand that we don't all have access to it. So I know Hook and The Giver also have good examples of this, and they're free on Voodoo. So I'll post links to those when we get to that time. So don't feel like you have to buy anything. You'll all be able to pick a video that you have access to. Here we're going to find examples of conflict. You're going to post them to the discussion board, and then you're going to comment on your peers. So same as discussion 2, just you're going to be using examples that I provide. All right, the last big change is our exams. So exam 1, we're done, but for 2 and 3, it's important to note that these are still closed book and closed notes. So what that means is you need to go and download the lockdown browser using this link, and you can see the full discussion, the full instructions that I posted here. But you should do this as soon as possible because you want to make sure this works. Our next exam is not next week, but the week after that. So you want to make sure that you have everything set for that. We will be taking that exam as a class. So all of us will be taking it at the same time to make sure that nobody's calling each other and giving each other answers. Not that I think that you'd do that. It's just super easy to do. So we want to mitigate that. So please go and download the lockdown browser. Follow all the instructions there. If you have trouble with that, shoot me an email and we'll get you set up. Study guides, we're going to do the same as last time. I'm going to send out a Google Doc link that all of you can put your notes on, and then I will post a short study guide as well. All right, I've also included on here just the rest of the semester calendar. This looks similar to before. A couple of small changes as far as where the discussion days are, but you should just be able to follow along with what we're studying here. So that's the big changes here. Wanted you to have this. I will post this along with the video. But if any of you have any questions, please let me know as soon as possible. Again, I'd love to contact any of you that have questions, and more than happy to do a face-to-face conversation whenever needed. All right, so expect next Monday will be your first module. You can do that at your own pace. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right, stay well, everybody. I miss you. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you later.